A recent trial proved that reversing kidney disease is possible, but you must avoid nutritional deficiencies. Look at this paper. These 143 CKD patients were ready for the machine. But everything changed for them when they fixed a common nutritional deficiency. Catherine here, I'm a doctor of natural medicine. Imagine for a moment that all that's standing between you and a better kidney function is a simple mineral or a vitamin. Because here's something they never tell you about kidney disease. CKD patients are way more at risk for nutritional deficiencies than others. And no, I'm not just talking about vitamin D, which is something you should always be checked for anyway. There are 29, I repeat, 29 nutritional deficiencies. Vitamins, minerals, essential nutrients. A lack in any of them could spell disaster for your kidney function. But here's some good news. Treating these deficiencies is as easy as adding a few tasty foods to your diet, and you might get huge health benefits from this. Just like the 143 patients in this study, they added one nutrient and their lives changed completely. So don't miss the final part of the video. We will see exactly what supplement was used to save those 143 patients. Before that, let's focus on what can make a difference for you watching me right now. Today, I will give you targeted recommendations based on your CKD stage and comorbidities. Let's start with the deficiencies that are more common for patients in stage 3A and stage 3B. But don't skip this part if you are in a more advanced stage. These are only going to get worse with time. Alright? So, what deficiencies do we find more often in CKD stage 3 patients? First of all, zinc. Now, zinc is an essential mineral and an antioxidant, truly a master of all trades. If you have a zinc deficiency, you might notice symptoms like hair thinning, dull skin, and minor eczema like skin rashes. Your skin also takes longer to heal. And here's the thing, this mineral is incredibly underestimated by medical practitioners. CKD patients are almost never tested for a deficiency. But zinc deficiency is not just more common than most doctors realize. It's also known to cause high blood pressure, proteinuria, and kidney damage. You absolutely don't want to risk a zinc deficiency, trust me. So what to eat to prevent the lack of this essential nutrient? Some of the best dietary sources include seeds like pumpkin, hemp, and sesame seeds. But don't disregard quinoa and oatmeal. These whole grains may not be as rich in nutrients as seeds, but you can have them a lot more often. Okay guys, another deficiency that's way more common than people think in patients in stage 3 is selenium deficiency. And here's the thing, without enough selenium, your kidneys are going to be subject to a lot more oxidative stress, which means kidney disease is going to progress a lot faster, says science. But on the other hand, when you replete selenium, a miracle can happen. In this paper, CKD patients achieve significantly better kidney function when they fix this deficiency. It's true. After years of losing kidney function at each and every new lab test, they finally had not just an improvement, but a big, significant jump in their kidney function. So question, where should you get your selenium from? Well, there is one food in particular that has more selenium than literally anything else. It's the Brazil nut. This nutritional powerhouse is absolutely packed with selenium. But here's what people don't know about this kidney-saving mineral. It doesn't really work alone. No. Selenium is a team player. It needs CoQ10 to perform its magic. Now guys, these 3 nutrients we have just seen are so strongly science-backed, every CKD patient should be supplementing them. Zinc, selenium, CoQ10. Each one of them is fundamental for good kidney health. And yet, most generic supplements for these minerals are not safe for CKD patients. More often than not, they have too much zinc or not enough selenium. And getting the right form of CoQ10 is not easy either. This is exactly why I created RenaBest, the best kidney multivitamin on the market. But RenaBest is more than just a multivitamin. It packs zinc in its natural form in the exact amount your kidneys need. It also gives you selenium in combination with CoQ10 to make both these nutrients way more bioavailable. So don't forget to start every morning with a capsule of RenaBest. Get it at renabiotech.co now or follow the link down in description. Remember, your kidneys only want the best. Okay guys, time to talk about a nutritional deficiency that will make a lot of people mad. Potassium. Some CKD patients actually need more of it. Okay, before you go bananas about this one, hear me out. We have been testing CKD patients for potassium levels for decades. We have studies, many studies actually, and the results are not what you think. Look at this paper. What it says is that the prevalence rates of hyperkalemia and hypokalemia are similar in CKD. Hyperkalemia being too high serum potassium and hypokalemia being too low serum potassium. Alright. So despite what most people say, you are just as likely to have potassium that is too low as you are to have potassium that is too high. Let that sink in for a moment. And of course, you can always go to the comment section still believing that if you type potassium in all caps enough times, you actually rewrite the laws of human biochemistry. But that's not how the human body works. So if you are still here, here's the thing. What really matters for your potassium levels is not what you eat, but the medications you take and the stage of CKD you are in. If you are in the early stages and you are taking a diuretic, you are more at risk for a potassium deficiency. Patients in the advanced stages taking ACE inhibitors are more at risk for having too high serum potassium. How to tell if you are in the first or in the second group? Easy, look at your lab results. Everyone with CKD is being tested for serum potassium levels. Now, I won't be showing you a list of high potassium foods to add to your diet. Any of you could probably recite a 100 high potassium food list from heart at this point. Just remember this, not all CKD patients must avoid bananas and avocados. Some might need more of these foods, alright? Okay, let's move on. Let's see what deficiencies are more common in patients suffering from diabetes, alright? If you have diabetes, be very careful with magnesium. Now guys, this is a big one. It is not a secret that patients with low magnesium tend to end up tied to a machine much sooner. So question, what symptoms tell you that you have a magnesium deficiency? Well, let's take a look at my infographic because magnesium deficiency can have many symptoms, but the first ones you might notice are jitters and muscle twitches, jaw clenching, teeth grinding. If those are caused by lack of magnesium, you'll feel wired, restless, anxious, and of course, you won't sleep very well. Now, if you don't treat this deficiency, symptoms might get out of control at the point that hypertension and diabetes become super hard to control, which means fast kidney damage. Now, just like potassium, magnesium can accumulate in advanced kidney disease, so don't take a supplement without doctor's approval. There are some foods, however, that are a great source of magnesium and perfectly safe. Green beans, flaxseed, sauerkraut, cucumber, zucchini, arugula. If you use these foods to help with a deficiency, your kidneys are going to be so much healthier. A question for you guys, has your doctor ever mentioned the possibility of a magnesium deficiency? Have you ever been tested for it? Let me know in comment section. Okay, the next deficiency you should be aware of if you have diabetes is vitamin B12 deficiency. This is a sneaky one. Not only does B12 deficiency have symptoms that can be mistaken for diabetes symptoms like fatigue, tingling in the extremities, vision problems, and lack of balance, it might also be caused by diabetes itself, and more importantly, by diabetes medications. It's true, metformin in particular, which is something a lot of diabetes patients take, can cause a huge mess by decreasing B12 absorption in the gut. And here's the thing, if you are on a plant-based diet, there is no food that can help. So make sure you take your renal best every morning. Never skip it. Seriously, don't end up in dialysis because your doctor forgot to tell you to take a renal multivitamin. Okay, let's move on. Let's say you really don't want to follow a plant-based diet for some reason and you are still eating meat, poultry, fish. What nutritional deficiencies are you more likely to suffer from? Well, sit comfortably. This is a long list. First of all, bicarbonate. All the acid you get from meat and fish is going to deplete your body's bicarbonate reserve, causing metabolic acidosis. This is going to be much worse if you also eat too much sodium like in a standard Western diet, by the way. Next, calcium. You think that animal-based foods are richer in calcium, right? Wrong. They strip more calcium from your bones than they give you. It's called mineral bone disorder. It's caused by phosphorus. Animal-based foods have so much phosphorus your body will have to steal calcium from your bones. Then we need to mention antioxidants. If you don't eat enough fruit and vegetables, it will be hard to get enough antioxidants. Same for fiber, of course, for magnesium and for vitamin K2. Following a diet heavy on animal-based foods will put you at a greater risk for all these deficiencies. And don't forget about short-chain fatty acids deficiency. These fatty acids are essential for insulin sensitivity, gut health, immunity, inflammation, heart, and kidney health. And they are produced in the gut by the fermentation of dietary fiber. Not a lot of that going on when you eat steak, right? Now, you don't need to remember all these deficiencies. Just remember, excess salt and protein load puts the kidneys on a dangerous road. Okay, let's move on. Let's say you are on a plant-based diet. You see, even a healthy diet might put you at risk. There are especially two deficiencies you need to keep an eye on if you are on a plant-based diet: vitamin B12 and iron. Like I was saying, vitamin B12 is not present in plant-based foods. You need to take a supplement like renal. Iron is different. You can get it from several plant-based foods, especially leafy greens like spinach and Swiss chard, and from seeds like pumpkin, sesame, and hemp seeds. However, these foods are often not enough when it comes to iron. This is why I put in Rina Best all the iron you need. So don't worry too much about deficiencies in a plant-based diet. Just make sure your diet is balanced and that you are taking a high-quality renal multivitamin. Now, something to worry about: the possible nutritional deficiencies in patients in the advanced stages of CKD. So let's say you are in stage 4 or 5. There is a deficiency in particular I want to discuss. Something you don't hear about very often: calorie deficiency or malnutrition. Now, losing weight due to a disease like CKD is a serious problem. Even if the patient is overweight to begin with, you never want fast weight loss with CKD. So question: what foods would I recommend a kidney disease patient who is losing weight involuntarily? Well, the very first recommendation here is olive oil, because trust me, if you need to keep your body weight on, there's nothing better than olive oil. Why? It's the best food in the world when it comes to calorie to protein ratio. I mean, it has 0 protein and more calorie per gram than literally any other food, oils excluded. But it's more anti-inflammatory than seed oils and generally considered healthier. I mean, olive oil is so powerful at fighting the inflammation, it is actually considered the main reason why the Mediterranean diet is so good for you. And of course, there are other oils that have kidney protecting properties such as avocado oil and flaxseed oil. So if you are losing weight and you don't want to, add a lot of oil to your diet. Something else that can really help here are seeds, flax seeds in particular. Now, while seeds do have some protein, which means you must eat them in moderation, this small seed is still amazing at protecting the kidneys in people with inflammatory kidney disease. There are studies showing that flaxseed can improve GFR in many patients. This is why flaxseed is one of the most recommended seeds for people with kidney disease. And of course, our main staple when it comes to fighting malnutrition is upper take foods. You know, your upper take pasta, bread, and baked goods. These are made exactly for CKD patients in the advanced stages that need the calories to survive, but that can't get the protein. One more tip for patients who are losing weight and need to gain it back: ginger. Ginger fights the nausea better than medications. Try it before your meals. Now guys, those of you in stage 4 and 5 unfortunately are more at risk for the majority of the deficiencies we discussed today. For example, vitamin D is a problem for most CKD patients in stage 4 and 5. Calcitriol, the active form of vitamin D, is also problematic, but also iron, B vitamins, vitamin C, zinc, magnesium, and mineral in general. Unfortunately, the more advanced the stage is, the more the complications we need to be on the lookout for. But this doesn't mean you have to give up. Just make sure you have a competent doctor and dietitian helping you. Remember, CKD can still be beaten even in the advanced stages, but you must bring your A game. Don't leave anything to chance and keep getting informed like you are doing right now. Okay guys, let's talk about the most important tip for today. This is probably the most serious yet incredibly underestimated deficiency you have to face, and this is a problem for basically everyone. Patients in the early stages, patients in the advanced stages, patients with diabetes, patients without. I mean, even the vast majority of the general population tends to suffer from this deficiency very often. Look at this paper. In the US, only about 5% of the population meets recommendations for these essential nutrients, says a huge national survey. And here's the thing, if you're not getting enough of this nutrient, well, the consequences are so scary, they make ChatGPT taking your job sound like the optimistic scenario. I'm talking stroke, high blood pressure, gut problems, obesity, diabetes, and of course, cancer. I mean, you thought risking the machine was bad? Try going a few months without this one nutrient. Now some good news, the benefits of getting enough of this nutrient are so effective for kidney health. 143 CKD patients have been documented reversing kidney disease when supplementing it. So what's the most underrated yet most dangerous nutritional deficiency patients are facing? I'm talking about dietary fiber, of course. Nothing else has effects so huge on your kidney and overall health. Now, what's important to know about fiber is that you can supplement it very easily. I mean, fiber is so important for your kidneys. I actually created my own supplement. It's called renal fiber, and it's not your run-of-the-mill fiber supplement. This ingredient in renal fiber was used to save several patients from the big D machine in medical literature. 9 end-stage patients were able to get off the machine completely with it. And that's why I consider fiber deficiency the most dangerous deficiency. But here's the thing, you can't rely on supplements alone, not how it works. So now the question is, how can you get more fiber in your diet but without overloading your body with potassium? Watch my video up here to find out. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Bye-bye!